Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Autumn Embers and welcome to me building the romantic Gothic wedding venue. So I built this when I was taking a little break from The Sims 4 because I noticed that I was in The Sims 4 for about 4 months consistently. I was either building in The Sims 4 or doing something for The Sims 4 ever since lockdown hit, and I was noticing that I felt like I had to make videos. I wasn't making videos for like the fun of it because I was like, no, I gotta make videos because otherwise there won't be something for you to watch. Or I was noticing that when I was decorating a build, I really wasn't finding the fun in it anymore. I was kind of getting stressed out. I was only doing it because it felt like I had to. So I took a bit of a break from The Sims 4, but as I did that, there was a thing called the Spark Challenge. And there was a little separate bit for us at home to take part in, and that was to make a wedding venue or a wedding destination. Now, from memory, there was some themes. I can't remember how many themes, but I know there was the spooky theme, there was the beachy theme, which I couldn't really take part in because I didn't have Island Living, and then there was like casino theme. I remember when I first looked at the casino theme, I was like, what does that mean? I mean, I'm not going to take part in the casino thing because that doesn't seem like a thing that I would want to take part in, but still, I would like to know what it means because I don't know. And I saw someone on Twitter going, hey, does anybody know what they mean by casino wedding theme? And I looked it up because I was like curious by it. And all I could really see was like a Las Vegas kind of wedding thing. But yeah, I didn't go for a casino theme. I went for the spooky theme. As you could probably see, we are currently in the lot of what's he called? The evil vampire Vlad. This was his home. I knocked it out. So I like the lot that your house is in. I would like to demolish it and use it for a wedding venue. Unfortunately, I couldn't use this lot because at the very moment, as you probably can kind of see, probably not, but these waterfalls that I have at the back, they are slightly overhanging over the lot, so the lot is not deep enough for them. So to make it look like they are part of the lot itself, it's meant to be there, and the people who built the like Gothic-y church type thing that goes along with this, they just incorporate it around the waterfall. But with this lot, it doesn't quite fit in, so I had to unfortunately find another lot. I found the lot, one of the two private looking lots in Windenburg. Is that the one? No, Willow Creek. I found the two sort of like private big lots at the back in Willow Creek that fit this perfectly. It was a shame because I had to say goodbye to the creepy graveyard beside this lot, but I managed to incorporate sort of like some headstones, some tombstones within this because it is meant to be creepy. What's more creepier than dead people, you know? You hear them coming back alive. They might come back alive as a zombie, they might eat your brains, or they come back alive as a vampire and they want to suck your blood. So, you know, creepy dead people. And I've only really been to 2 weddings in my lifetime, and I can't really remember one of them. I remember I was cold because it was up north, and I remember the dress I was wearing, it was sleeveless, and so it didn't have very much support up top, and so it kept trying to fall down a little bit, and that wasn't great. I also remember the heels that I was wearing, I couldn't really walk in them, and I also remember that when we were taking photos, I was sinking into the ground because the ground was kind of soft, and so I was just aerating the grass a little bit. And the second wedding, it was taking place in a modern church, and yeah, it was taking place in a modern church, and it was up north again. and it was cold. But if I was ever to get married, if I ever get to that stage in my life, if I were to get married, I would probably like to get married outside somewhere within nature. So that is what I decided to do, where your sins will take their vows and they also like take them here on this rounded bit here. So you'll be taken outside by the waterfall. I was also inspired by some pictures I found on Pinterest, also by a wedding that should have taken place this year, but with what's been going on in the world, it got bumped to next year. And for some reason I was taken along with, I know why I was taken along with, because I was part of the party and I needed to go back down south, because last year last year the Spice Girls came back with like a comeback tour thing, and there was like selling tickets or like arenas and stuff like that. And a friend of my sister's, she got some tickets for the Spice Girls concert, and there was like one spare, and so she asked my sister if she could ask me if I would like to come along. And I thought, yeah, why not? I mean, I've never been to a music concert before ever, so I thought the Spice Girls comeback tour would be a good one to go to. But it was up north, it was in the north of the country. And we were staying at some backpackers. I've never stayed at a backpackers in my life, so that was interesting. And I have to say, my heart sank when I found out there was only one bathroom. So it was a bathroom for everybody, everyone used it. And I was an unhappy bunny. You know, when you find something out that you weren't expecting and your heart just drops and you start to dread it and it feels like a nightmare. You don't want to do it, but part of you wants to do it just because you just want to get it out of the way. That's how I was feeling. I just felt very uncomfortable on using shared bathrooms, but it was okay because the shower was behind a door. It was in its own little cubicle, had a nice lock on it, the door was thick, it didn't have any gap like underneath, and it was alright. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And then, just to throw like a spanner in the works, the last day we were like leaving the backpackers to go back back home, back down south. The girls decided not to have a shower, and I was like, what? I've gone from dreading to have a shower in this backpacker's place to I need to have a shower because I have anxiety of being stinky around other people. Now, one of the girls who were in this party of people going to see the Spice Girls, she likes to go to the toilet every hour or so, and I'm so glad that she woke me up when she did, because I was so scared that I wasn't going to wake up in enough time for me to have a shower, because otherwise I'd be stinky for the rest of the day. And I'm so glad I had a shower, because in this party there was the bride-to-be, and she showed us where she was getting married, because some other members of this party, they were a big part of this wedding, and so she just wanted to show them where their wedding be taking place. And it's in a really nice setting. I mean, of course, it's up north, so you're surrounded by lots of country hills, rolling country hills. And where she's taking her vows, there is lots of ruins. I was thinking for this wedding venue I could do something with ruins, but as when I was building this, I was using a lot of ruins at the time for other builds, and so for this I wanted to do something different. So I didn't use ruins, but where the bride-to-be is getting married, she has lots of ruins surrounding her. I think it's some sort of historical site, because you have to pay to get in there normally. She's also getting married to a slight graveyard. I did say, you don't know you're getting married to dead people, you don't know that. But she said, yeah, that's okay, I know. I mean, they're dead. They're not gonna come back anytime soon, are they? I mean, they've been dead for like a couple of 100 years. It's like, okay, just so you know, you're getting married to dead people. Like, yeah, I know that. But yeah, I think this place you have to pay for, because When we were visiting it, the bride-to-be dropped the "I'm getting married here" bomb, because once she mentioned that, the lady behind the desk was like, "Oh, no, just keep your money, oh really, keep your money, you can go in for free then, since you're having your wedding here next year." So yeah, we got into the place for free. We got to see where she would be taking her vows. We then saw where like the after party would be, which has a nice body of water. I think it has a lake, and it's super pretty. So I knew I wanted, since I'm going for a spooky theme, I wanted dead people involved as like their tombs. I also wanted a body of water, which comes in the form of a waterfall. And I wanted the Sims to take their vows outside, because if, like I said, if I ever get to the point of me getting married to a guy, I would like to have it outside somewhere, next to water, next to trees. I want lots of like dangly flowers, and my fingers will be crossed because my mum suffered from hay fever, so my fingers will be crossed so she doesn't have like watery eyes during the ceremony or like sneezing. But that's a long way off. That's a very long way off. But at the moment I'm doing the I wouldn't call it a church. It does have like church like qualities to it, and I did look up Gothic churches on Pinterest whilst I was building this structure here. And so yeah, I think it has church-like qualities. I wasn't really going off of anything. I was just sort of like following my nose and just doing whatever that popped in my head. The little, what they called them, boats. You turn them to turn the boat. I can't remember the called, but they're on the roofing here. They were trying to represent the lovely stone detailing and carving that you may see on like Gothic churches. So I was just trying to replicate that. What are they called? The steering wheel of the boat. I'm calling it that. So that's what they are. I'm just trying to replicate the lovely stonework and carving on some of these Gothic buildings that we can't really do in The Sims 4. So I tried to use another item to perhaps replicate it. So also I noticed with a lot of like Gothic churches, I love the architecture of Gothic churches. So I do want to build an actual Gothic church in The Sims 4, perhaps getting some building custom content, because I am beginning to get like really interested in it, to the point where I'm thinking and like researching of like who could I download from and what I could use. I'm also very interested in the tool mod, because I'm seeing so many brilliant, wonderful creations from you guys, and even if it's just like used very simply be, even just sort of like you seeing it very sort of like simply, it still looks great, and so I kind of want to try it out for myself. It'll be the first time for me like using mods, but it can't be that hard, you know, and there's apparently lots of videos telling you how to use it, but it just looks like a really fun tool to sort of like to play around with, to see what you can create, because it allows you to do so much more than what you can do already. So I am thinking about that, so that's exciting. And with most Gothic churches, you see sort of like a nice big round window, so that's what I've got here. I did scale it up, so as you can see, it looks a bit funny, because when you scale up these round windows, most of the window doesn't come with it. It sort of stays where it is, the actual size of it, and so the rest of the size of the window, when you scale it up, it doesn't really act as a window anymore, if that makes sense. I know that just didn't make any sense, but it looks alright from a distance, and as I'm looking here, it doesn't look that bad. But if you zoom up and look a bit more closely at it, you go, oh okay, I see where the original size window is, because it's still there, it's still left behind. But I really like the way this has turned out, and with the where the Sims say there were wedding vows with that bit over there, like the curved bit, I was thinking and using the cats and dogs overhang. What's it called? So either side it looks like some overhanging trees, and then you've got a wooden covering. I don't know what to call them, but you find them in the cats and dogs debug section, and I was thinking about using them, but I did use them in the end because I looked at the other entries of like these buildings or wedding destinations that you guys did, and I was like, okay, I need to do a little bit more because I can't just stick down a couple of chairs and a wedding arch and some petals and call that a day, can I? I need to do a little bit more, and that is the same with the inside of this Gothic church-esque structure thing, because I just started to plonk down tables and a couple of chairs, and I was like, I know this needs more, but I don't know what that could be. So I did go look on Pinterest and to see what other very picturesque, romantic wedding destinations and venues went for, because that's what I was trying to go for. And they turned up with these hanging flower ceilings, and we don't really have anything quite like that in the game, kind of. So I had to go to debug. So I went to the live edit objects section in the game. I then filtered by base game. I had the debug on, and I went down to the hanging plant, and I was like, okay, this should work, but there was more hanging plant container than there was hanging plant, and I was like, okay, what do I do? Because it doesn't look great at the moment. I need something extra to add to this, and to sort of like fit in with the way the Sims take their vows with the overhanging plants. And so then I remembered when I did the 12k impossible build challenge, and I remember I was using a plant, and for some reason I was curious about it, and so I zoomed up on it. And it's basically a low-lying plant that sits in a container, and it has some hanging droopy flowers. And I thought, oh, that'd be kind of handy dandy, because these hanging plants from the ceiling, yeah, there's more container to plant here. So I was like, okay, let's use them. I can't remember, scale them down a little bit, but I just remember placing a whole bunch of them in the ceiling of this structure here, where your Sims will have their dinner, they'll have their food, perhaps a little bit, you know, plants hanging down. They might give off some sort of like pollen or some sticky substance from the plant, or they might droop all over their petals, all over your food. But from a pretty decoration purpose, it looks quite nice. But yeah, I used those debug low-lying container plant things that has droopy flowers, and I raised them up to the ceiling and just covered the entire bit of that ceiling room area with these plants, and I think it looks quite nice in the screenshots. And I just want to say, when I uploaded these screenshots to Twitter, I wasn't expecting the response that I got, because I put it on like late at night, and when I woke up to 20 notifications, and I was like, what? Did I do something? Did I do something wrong? I'm so sorry. But no, I didn't do anything wrong. It was because you guys really, really liked this, the screenshots of this wedding venue. I was like, what? I was not expecting that. I didn't think he would have that kind of like reaction to it. I have never uploaded anything, and to have that kind of reaction for just one post that I've posted, and it made me day, it made me smile. There is a 50-50 chance these days that I may wake up in a bad mood, But for that day, I definitely did not wake up in a bad mood, because seeing that and seeing the response that I got from you guys and the interaction with the post was just it was just sort of like, oh, okay, thank you. And the comments that I was getting from the screenshots of this, I wanted to say more than just thank you, because they was just so lovely, but I didn't know what that would be, so I just said thank you anyways. But they really was just so lovely, and the interaction was just so lovely. I was not expecting it, so thank you to everyone who interacted with that post of these screenshots for this build, because I was not expecting it, full stop. I've never had like a reaction to something I posted, and it just made me day, it made me smile. I had to show my mum, despite me mum not having Twitter and not knowing how it works, but I had to show my mum. And when I showed me mum, my mum was like, oh, okay, is that number good or is it bad? I was like, no, mum, it's good. I mean, that's why I'm happy, that's why I'm smiling, because it's good. And I've never had something like this before happening to me. I normally see other people like have this sort of reaction to some of the amazing builds, but not me. I never thought it could like happen to me, but oh, it did. And I just built this because I just wanted to join in, you know, and I just wanted to build something a little different, because I don't really build wedding venues. I decided this wedding venue would be a generic, just because I didn't really want it to be like a lounge. And so yeah. And also, I kind of know now what needs to go into a wedding venue for your Sims to use as a wedding venue, because I'm currently doing the Black Widow challenge, and she has married a couple or few Sims now, and so I now know what goes into a wedding venue. So we have some toilets there, we also have a kitchen, this bit here where the tables are, that is where your Sims could sit down and have their dinner. This is also where I was talking to you about the flowers dangling down from the ceiling. This outside area here is like where your Sims would have a good old boogie and a dance and have some alcoholic or juicy drinks. So we've got a little bar there. I know we have a lot of bars in the game, but there wasn't like a nice long bar that kind of suited in with like a gothic, romantic, slightly older, creepy vibe. You know, I only could find one. It was incredibly short as well, so we only have two high chairs in there. They sound like toddlers now. But yeah, we've only got two bar stools in there. That sounds nice, don't it? So we've only got two bar stools in there. I did pop down a microphone. I then later popped down a grand piano, because I felt like this place deserves a grand piano, because if there was ever to be a place that would have a grand piano, it would be a place like this. And again, I just felt like something was missing, and I had to add something else to it, so I did add a grand piano. And then I realised the microphone that we have here, that could be moved closer towards the grand piano, but perhaps this area is the area where you would listen to a comedian telling some jokes, and if you want to have a nice dance by the piano, you have that separate option, you know. But then again, I could have put down two microphones for like a singer and a pianist, and then a comedian down at the other end. But hey ho, I remember there should be something extra like a grand piano. So this here is just the bathroom. We've only got two stools in here. I really like these objects, but the blimmin' huge. They're really flipping chunky. So if I was sort of like making it myself, we would probably get more than the two we got in there, but we got two, we got more than one, we got toilets in there, I didn't forget, we got more than two sinks just because there was enough room, and I don't know, perhaps I don't know. So this is where I am doing the lifting and choosing of the dangly, low-lying plant that normally sits on the floor, but I had to raise them up. I did go ahead and just put some up on the ceiling anyways, just to see if it looked alright, because I don't want to completely cover this entire bit of the room, of the ceiling, in these low-lying dangly plants and then realise it looks horrendous, it looks awful. Why did I think that was a good idea? So I decided to go ahead and see if it looked alright, and I thought it did, and so I just went ahead and lifted them up towards the ceiling. The lines here, they're like beams. You can't quite see them underneath the foliage, but perhaps whoever's getting married here has decided this is the wedding decoration of choice, and this is what they've gone with. And so normally when you're looking around the place to see whether this is where you like to get married, there is just beams, there are no dangly flowers, so perhaps this is what they chose. I did regret putting them in when I did, because I don't have a external mouse. I have a mouse that's attached to my laptop. I use that, and I feel that you're slightly more restricted in the movement if you have one of these mouse pads that is integrated with your laptop, because I feel like you have a bit more freedom of moving the camera around if you have one of these external mouse that you plug into your laptop or to your computer, because you have that central middle wheel that you can use to navigate your camera a little bit more easier. And I thought, if I had that, I think I would be able to see and let you guys to see what this looks like, because it was a little bit hard to see with now the dangly flowers in the way, but you can see what's going on. They are slightly eclipsing your view when you are in live mode, but you just need to adjust your camera to the right level so you can actually see around. So this is what the, I was going to call it a living room, and then I was going to call it a dining room. It is kind of like a dining room. This is where your Sims eat, but I highly doubt that they will sit here and eat their food, because Sims are annoying. They don't do the things that you want them to do, because you have a perfect storyline, a perfect view of how it's going to look like in your head, and then you get your Sims and they don't do it. They're just so frustrating. Even if you turn off like free will, they still don't do the things you want them to do. It's like, what is wrong with you? So there we go, but it's still pretty looking. You still can appreciate the prettiness of it. So again, just in the bathroom once again, because I felt like those sinks weren't really suiting into the vibe of this place. So I got rid of them because they're a little bit too modern for my liking, chopped them out, and then just added these sinks because I felt like they suited a little bit more. I wanted to make this sort of slightly fancy and plush because it's a wedding venue, you know, with a waterfall, with a grand piano that's kind of Gothic, churchy-esque. It deserves to have a fancy bathroom, and you may have a really, really pretty venue or a really pretty cafe or really pretty restaurant, and it's like top notch, top of the range. It looks really pretty. You feel really fancy going in there. And you may go to the toilet because you need to pee or something, and you go in there and you realise it's kind of dirty, it's not the nicest, and so for me that will lower my opinion of the entire venue or the build, you know. I don't care if the rest of the restaurant or cafe or whatever is so pretty, it's stunning, but if the toilets are disgusting, then my view and opinion of that place is going to go down. Or vice versa. If I go into a place that is slightly dated, it needs like a redo, it needs a revamp. But if you go into the toilets and they're like really nice and clean, perhaps, you know, not like really modern, but they're still clean and has a nice scent to it, then my view of this dated property or place will go up a bit, you know. Nice toilets. You need to concentrate on your toilet sometimes, you know. Sometimes all your view and time go into the actual build itself, and then you just forget about the toilets. But no, you need to take some of that into your toilets, because it will just ruin the view and the look of the place sometimes. For me, I don't know about you. You might just, you don't care. You perhaps don't want to go to pee there. That's fine. But for me, you need to have nice toilets along with your lovely restaurant or your lovely cafe. If you've got a lovely cafe but crap toilets, I wouldn't really want to go there, you know? But anyways, so this bit here is just me adding the, what's it called, the grand piano, because with the size of this back end, it wasn't big enough with the grand piano in place, so I added the grand piano, and now there is enough space for your Sims to have the first dance. Unfortunately, we don't have the slow-mo dance that we had in Sims 3. Was it in Sims 2 as well? But I know it was in Sims 3, so we only have that weird club dance now, but I thought we still have a place for your Sims to dance, because I don't know, perhaps there's a mod out there for them to slow dance, so we still have a space for that. I basically just covered the fences and like more flowers, because I wanted this to be romantic. And when I think of flowers, I think of romanticness. I just put some lighting in, but this is where this video ends. So hopefully you have enjoyed watching. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you have enjoyed watching, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Hopefully I've got a big old project coming up, but I hope you like it, because it's lagging my game down. I was going to say thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. And so, did I say please like and subscribe? I have a funny feeling I didn't. Let's just do this all over again. Okay. Please like and subscribe. There we go. Please like and subscribe, and enjoy the rest of your day, wherever that may be. I think I'll just nick someone else's outro, and hopefully I will see you again soon, and thank you and goodbye.